Hi, Stacy here with Limelight AZ. Um, this is Sasai. So I am doing a song called Psalm 139. It's sung in Hebrew. I actually listened to it for the first time today. In fact, just like 5 minutes ago. From Tuesday Stings, I had a really bad reaction. And it was a truly terrible experience at first. And then after that, and this is trying to knock and come in. After that, I had a very interesting experience that was definitely a God experience. So if you're interested in knowing more, go check it out. But part of what came to me that night was fearfully and wonderfully made, which I recognized the term from Scripture, but I didn't know where it was located. And but I really felt the urge to examine that phrase, fearfully and wonderfully made, as well as examine the Scripture all around it in the chapter. So I've been doing that the last 2 days. I've been trying to understand better what Psalm 139 is about, and trying to find some commentary on it, and trying to understand the Hebrew context of it, which I have not really dived into yet. At the very near future, or in the very near future, I'll be breaking down these words into Hebrew to get a better understanding, because the Hebrew language is very unique in comparison to English. You can take a word and look at each individual letter of the Hebrew version of that word and have a better understanding of what it is that God is trying to convey. So I intend on probably doing that with much of Psalm 139. It's not going to be a fast process, especially since I only have my phone to use. I can't use a computer and copy and paste and whatnot. So I am sorry about all the noise. I swear it was really quiet out there up until the time I pressed record. Anyways, I wanted to read all of Psalm 139, since obviously unless you speak Hebrew, you won't understand the song that is sung. So the title is Search Me, O God, and Know My Heart, which I thought was pretty interesting because my experience from 2 nights ago was very much so in context with that. So to the choir master, a psalm of David. O Lord, you have searched me and know me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from afar. You search out my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all of my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. You hem me in behind and before, and lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wondrous for me. It is high. I cannot attain it. Where shall I go from your spirit? Or where shall I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell on the uttermost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and light about me be night, even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is bright as the day, for darkness is as light with you. For you formed my inward parts, you knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, my soul knows it very well. My frame was not hidden from you, where I was being made in secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed substance, in your book were written, every one of them, the days that were formed for me, when as yet there was none of them. How precious to me are your thoughts, O God, how vast is the sum of them. If you would count them, they are more than the sand. I awake, and I am still with you. Oh, that you would slay the wicked, O God. O men of blood, depart from me. They speak against you with malicious intent. Your enemies take your name in vain. Do I not hate those who hate you, O Lord? And do I not loathe those who rise up against you? I hate them with complete hatred. I count them my enemies. Search me, search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any grievous way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. So that is Psalm 139. It speaks greatly of being searched by God and wanting to be searched by God, which I found interesting because just a day or two prior to, maybe 3 days prior to my experience on Tuesday, I was really like, what have I done to offend you? I am sorry for whatever it is that I've done. I really, really was beginning to think that it was the wrath of God upon me, and because nothing else was making sense. I knew that this was a spiritual and physical thing. I've been saying that since the beginning. And I got the distinct feeling that I had been picked. I said that too. For this. And I didn't understand why. And the only thing that was making any sense was, that I must have done something, and it was a very hard question to face. Obviously nobody wants to go, I wonder if I've offended God, and so therefore I need to ask him. Nobody wants to do that because we all offend God on a regular basis. But I did that, and I apparently somehow figured out that that was a good thing to do. I don't know. I kind of just stumble through life and it just happens. So, but at any rate, I really was searching for God to let me know what I've done, and then Tuesday happened, and a lot happened in that session with God, and a lot more than I even went into details about. So it was interesting to then leave that session with God with the words fearfully and wonderfully made, and have this whole chapter confirming like what I had experienced in that session with God. It was basically that my journey would begin, and that my unfulfilled potential is being washed away. So, which is pretty interesting. Anyway, so I've been searching on Psalm 139 to have a better understanding of it. I'm going to continue doing that until I feel satisfied by the information I've received. One thing I wanted to mention was when I was telling my husband that God gave me the words fearfully and wonderfully made. I mean, I recognize that term from Scripture on a regular basis, speaking about people. But he goes, you know what? That sounds like the bees. And I'm like, I hadn't thought about that. It's true. They are fearfully and wonderfully made. I mean, gosh, they strike fear in more people than I ever realized. I never really had a fear of them. But through the bee venom therapy, I am finding that most people are just terrified of them. And worse than spiders, which I think is funny because I know a lot of people are terrified of spiders too. I think just insects in general strike fear in people. I know my insect that I really, really hate is a scorpion. It's just freaks me out. And the fact that the babies are worse than the adults is even more terrifying. So I think everybody has an insect that really bothers them, maybe more than one. But I have since found out that people really, really hate the bees. And I'm like, they're cool. I mean, now that we've learned about them, They are such fascinating creatures. And God did some really incredible things with the products that the bees make. And it's just, to me, it is just awesome. I need to find a different word because that's the only word I can think of, and it's overused. Phenomenal. They're phenomenal, and the more we learn about them, the more that we're just like, wow, these little creatures that God created are just incredible, and yet they are fearfully and wonderfully made. And I thought that was just so fascinating that my husband kind of connected that, and it didn't occur to me at all. I was putting it in people context. So that was why I went and searching on Psalm 139, and then I ran across that song, and I was like, this is a really pretty song. So I added it to my playlist, and now you have access to it. So have a wonderful evening, and don't forget, you are fearfully and wonderfully made.